We'll discuss about the aggregate functions, which are also called as multiple row functions or grouping. So they're all same. So where we are going to be take more than one row as input. That is one column we can take at a time, and it is going to be producing a single value as output. See here, it will accept more than one row of data or values as input and produces one value as input. One value as input. See, more than one row of data, that is column, a column as input, and it is going to be produces a single value or one value as output. A single value as output it is going to be uh, produces here. See, all aggregate functions all aggregate functions will skip null value. Null values in a sense there is no value, not even zero. There is no value. All aggregate functions will skip null values. That is, it will not consider it will not consider null values. It will not consider null values. See, sum have, min we have, max we have. Along with this, we have AVG for calculating the average, and then count of specific column or count of star. Count of specific column or count of star. See, sum in a sense it will add all values in a column and returns the result. Average, it is going to be calculate the average of all the values what we have in a specific column or the values what we have provided as column. See, now what I can say here is, if suppose in a column we have 10 rows, in a column we have 10 rows, all the values is going to be get added, all the values is going to be get added divided by 10. All the values is going to be get added divided by 10, or else if we have among the 10 rows, if we have only 8 values are there, remaining 2 null values we have. Remaining 2 null values we have. Let me consider in a column there are 10 rows. Among the 10 rows, we have 8 rows as values and remaining 2 are null values. As this is the aggregate function, it is not going to be considered the null values. Because of that only, what it is going to be do is, it is going to be skip the 2 null values and it is going to be add all the values what we have in the rows, and it is going to be get added of all those rows. Sorry, it will add all the rows and it is going to be divided with that number of rows. By adding all the 8 values divided by 8, it will be calculates the average. It will return the average of given values. Min, it will give smallest value in the given column. Next, max, it will give biggest value or highest value in the given column. Count, count of column returns the
ఏమంటావా?
return the number of rows in the specified column. Count of star returns the number of rows in the table. Returns the number of rows in the table. Returns the number of rows in the table. So this will see select star from employee, star from student. From the student table, first we'll retrieve the data. See what is the minimum mark in subject 1. We'll get it first. What is the minimum mark or display the smallest score, smallest mark in the subject 1. Select min of subject 1 subject 1 minimum marks. It is going to be display for us here 62. So in a similar way, display the top mark in the subject 1. Select max of subject 1 marks from student. display the minimum smallest percentage or least percentage of marks in the students. Select student, select from student, see minimum of percentage of marks, minimum percentage. In the similar way, maximum percentage. Is a maximum percentage. Sum of all marks related to subject 1. Display the total marks of subject 1. Select sum of subject 1 marks like this. Average of subject 1 mark. Display the average of subject 1 mark. Display the average of subject 1 mark. So select average of subject 1 marks like this. We are going to be get the sum of all the values. Sorry, average of the marks. Next, we want to discuss about if you want to discuss about the count, give a clear example. So we cannot able to give that example from this particular table because we don't have null values. For that, I'll take another table. Select start from employee. Select start from employee. So here we have some null values. From this, we'll take. We have some null values here. See now count of select count of what I would like to take EAD from employee. Select count of EAD from employee. It means in the EAD column, how many values we have without null. How many rows we have without null. That count it is going to be display for us. That count it is going to be display for us. Count of 5 it is going to be. See, count as 5 it is going to be display. Total rows in the particular table. The count of star. In the total table, how many rows we have? That is going to be displayed here. 5 only. But if you see the column, let me consider here address. count of address, because here one null value is there, we'll be getting the value as 4. Select count of address from 4. Count of address from employee is 4. So that is the difference between count of star and the count of specific column. In the specific column, how many rows we have, that number of rows it is going to be displayed. But whereas here, count of a specific column, sorry, count of a star innocence, in the total table, how many rows will be, sorry, in the total table, how many rows it will be there. That is going to be displayed actually here. That is the purpose of using count of a specific column, count of that particular column as well. Next we have group by. Next concept we have here is group. Group by, group by class. What is the purpose of using this group by class? Use it to group the data based on category of data in a space, in a column. Use it to group the data based on category of content what we have in a specific column. So that is the purpose of using this one. That is the purpose of using group by. See, after grouping the data, if we want to specify any condition, after grouping the data, if we want to specify any condition, then we have to use this having class. Having class. After applying group by, we want to specify condition, we'll use this having class. See, what is the difference between having class and where class? Difference between having and where class is most important into the question. Having class, which is used only when we are applying the group by for grouping the data. See, sorry, when we are using the group by for grouping the data, after that, if we want to specify any specific condition, then only we'll be using this having class. Normally, without using group by, we cannot able to use the having class. Without using group by, we cannot able to use the having class. But where class, when we are going to be used is to represent a condition for a specific content. In that particular situation, we are going to be use the where class as well. When we are using with the select command, if we are not using this particular one, I mean to say like um, without grouping the data, normally if you want to represent any condition, in that particular case only we have to use this where class. Otherwise, we should not use the where class when we are applying the group by. When we are applying the group by. That is a specific reason why we have to use this group by and having. See clearly, having class which is used for grouping the data. After applying the grouping the data, if we want to specify any condition, then only we would like to use that. Otherwise, we're not going to be use that. Otherwise, we are not going to be use having class. Only where class will be used for specifying the particular condition. Now we'll see that example. If you observe in the department table, HR is there, development is there, support is there. If you want to group the data, and one more thing, whenever we are applying this group by, then only we have to use this aggregate functions. Then only we have to use this aggregate functions for grouping the, sorry, after grouping the data, if we want to take some count or sum or anything, so like we are going to be apply the group by, sorry, after applying the group by only we have to use this aggregate functions most of the time. The situation I'll tell you. So I would like to display the content, display the count of the employees in each department, display the count of employees from each department. In that particular case, how we are going to be write this, we'll see now. In that particular situation, first we have to group the data, and see, just I'll be displaying like select, select employee ID, employee first name I would like to display from employee table group by DPT. So we'll see. I would like to display employee ID, employee first name, group by department. So we are getting the error here. It is not a group by expression because I would like to display the employee ID, employee first name of each uh, this particular one, each employee. That will not be possible here. So in that particular situation, if you would like to use the total count of employees in each department, below query will fetch error. Select count of employee ID from employee group by DPT. Select count of employee ID from employee group by DPT. See, we are getting this count. We are getting this count. So, what is the count we are getting from each department? So, first, if we want to display the, this is a, see, department is development, 3 is their count, and HR is 1, salary is 1. And after this, display count of employees and department whose department is having more than one employee. Select count of EID department from employee group by department. So if we write till here, it is going to be group the data based on the department, and it is going to be display the count of the employees of each department. Count of employees of each department also it is going to be displayed here. Okay, fine. So I want to display the department whose employee is having more than one. So we have to specify the condition. To specify the condition, we are going to be write like this: EID greater than EID greater than 1. See, development total number of employees is 3. Total number of employees is 3. So this is how we can able to apply the group by and having classes. See, with this concept is done, and the next concept what we are going to be discuss is most important in SQL, that is joins concept. So from tomorrow, don't miss the class because it is most important concepts in SQL. Most important concepts in SQL.